Hello, it is Friday night. It is definitely not Sunday morning when we do regularly stream, but this is the second of kind of our non-standard weekly streams for Sunday Club. And what is Sunday Club? Normally, every week on a Sunday morning, we do a stream about Ruby on Rails development and take a look at building an application together. And instead of that, on these kind of like Friday streams I've been doing, like Friday or Saturday streams I've been doing, we are looking at the user interface design for the apps that we are building on Sunday morning. And the application that we're working on at the moment is an events application, so allowing people to buy tickets for an event. And specifically, it looks at group registrations and allowing people to register and take part in events in groups. And why are we doing that? Because the domain modeling around that problem is pretty interesting, and it's kind of proving to be an interesting challenge on both the UI design and the domain modeling side, and the kind of all the stuff to do with it in Rails. And you can take a look at the YouTube channel Archive History for more context on that. So what are we doing tonight? We are back in Sketch. So normally this channel is about the coding side of things, but recently, and I think moving forward, I'm equally interested in the UI design because it's what I'm personally interested in. So let's jump over, because we're going to pick straight back up from the previous design stream that we ran. So let's jump over and look at Sketch. So let me zoom out on this and take a look at where we're up to. So we've done one session on this so far. Let's make this full screen. So we've done one session. Actually, no, let's not do that. That's a bad idea. We've done one session on this and built a very, like the top level navigation. And what we did was take a look at the kind of prototype, very, very, very rough prototype that we were working on the Sunday morning stream, and also some apps that kind of exist in this space. So we took a look at Eventbrite, Ticket Tailor, Event Create, Try Booking, like just kind of a random selection of event applications. And on Sunday stream, on the coding side of things, we took a look at active.com as well, which is more of a specialist, mainly sporting events, but definitely like team endurance running, things like that events. And we took a look at kind of, for them, on the coding side, what it means to actually set up an event, like all of the things they ask you, how do you store those things, how do you model someone actually making a ticket transaction, and we've taken a look a little bit on the UI design for how they do those as well. And this prototype is very like a very crappy rough version of what we've built. So we have this events page, which is listing our events. This has only been built out just so that we can take a look at using like view component in Rails. And if we click through, we've got some Tailwind UI stuff that we grabbed off their site, but it's got the next part of the UI that we want to take a look at, which is this event-based navigation. So we've got this high-level nav, and then we've got the idea of having a list of events. You click into the event, and then you've got this navigation. So what we said we were going to do is start with this events index page and move on from there. So let's crack on with that. So we got really into Sketch symbols last time. And they, just for context, it had been a little while since I had used Sketch, and they had symbols previously, and they were great. But the override tools have become so much better that what we were looking at was making this mobile version a symbol with loads of nested symbols within it, and then being able to override any given individual symbol within it, and then like you could do content and all those other things. So we're using that symbol here as, it's called admin top level nav, and then over here we've got the larger phone. The default in Sketch is iPhone 12 Pro Max. So same symbol, just extended across. And what we were looking at was, could we make it so that the resize behavior of the component worked like we wanted? So everything over here stayed on the right, and the logo always stayed on the left. And we got that working, which was really good. And then we could get that all the way over onto desktop if we wanted, I think. So if we copy this one over, I think this would work at this level. But we don't want that because we're going to have an entirely different experience on desktop based on what we looked at last time for the design stream. And what we looked at really interestingly was how different sites, Eventbrite specifically, and I think the other one was Try Booking, we were looking at how they handled like the toggle for their navigation when you switch from desktop to mobile, and especially the toggling of the sub navigation. So we can, I think the desktop one can kind of live for now. We can come back and polish this stuff up. We're not trying to do a polished version right now. We're just trying to get symbols working. So where did we get this? This at the moment is not a symbol. So we're going to want to, let's sort out our desktop version of this nav first. Now I am aware, I'm going to apologize for this again on this stream, that Sketch doesn't let me change the size of the these kind of like panels at the top or the taskbars on the right. So on the stream, these are really tiny. So I can change the content on the canvas so that we can see it nice and clearly. But I can't change, as far as I'm aware, the font size within the app, which is kind of annoying. But hopefully if you've got a copy of Sketch or you're interested in it, they have a free trial and stuff. So you can grab it and take a look and play around with what these do. And so hopefully it's pretty clear. Also, the stream is now in 1080 rather than 720. So hopefully you can put this on a bigger screen and take a look for yourself if you can't quite see it on the smaller screens. All right, so let's get this desktop nav turned into a Sketch symbol so that it's reusable. So I think what we can do is just see what else. So admin top level nav logo. Right, so we had admin top level nav mobile, admin top level, and then each of these things, which of these are within mobile? Not all of them. So if you, I don't know if you can read these, but basically the symbol names, when they have a slash in them, that kind of indicates a sub directory, like a sub level within Sketch. So admin top level nav slash logo, admin top level nav slash mobile slash user org avatars. That indicates that they're nested. And so when you want to do your overrides or anything like that, you can just swap them out. But what it means is you need to be careful. So here we have admin top level nav slash mobile. So this one is going to become admin top level nav slash desktop. And then we want to make sure that some sub symbols might be shared between the two. So we want to name those appropriately. So don't put them in slash desktop or mobile or wide or narrow, however you want to label your groups or anything, I guess. But some things within admin top level nav will only exist on the mobile or narrow or things like that. So you basically just like making sure that you know that your folder structure or whatever, they're not folders, I don't know what they're called, like sub levels. So let's just start. Let's grab everything that we think that's going to go in here. So these lines, that rectangle, that avatar hasn't got the organization into. These problems probably won't be symbols on their own. So let's just convert these to a symbol to start with. Create symbol. And these can be admin top level nav slash. Yeah, I'm actually not really always a huge fan of mobile slash desktop, but wide and narrow are usually. I've already used mobile, so let's just put desktop for now. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Now, the layout for that, I'm not really too fussed about this one because we're going to use that rectangle all the way across. So maybe we're not fussed about this one resizing because it will have a cap on the maximum width that we want it to go. So I think we're just fine without that one having a layout. So now we've got that symbol. And we probably want these in it as well. So events and orders were the two top level nabs that we kind of had borrowed from Eventbrite. We haven't set a text style on these. Let's pop those in the symbol as well. I'm not being too exact about any of this stuff. We can just throw some stuff around. Why is admin top level desktop blank? Because I didn't put the logo in there either. Okay, so the logo can come over as well. That was what I was thinking about, where the folder structure. So this is admin top level nav / logo. But is the logo going to be the same size and the same logo on desktop and mobile, or will it be different? I think it'll be the same. So that can actually be an instance of that symbol used in here. So we can actually... can you put it in here? Oh yeah, that's cool. So that's a new thing as well. Like when you go to this little add or insert, I guess this is, you can search through everything, which is really helpful because I think last time I used Sketch, you had to actually navigate through all your structures. This one's called logo. It's the only logo we've got at the moment, and that can live there. And we can just move these two over. It's super rough. We're not too fussed about this. We're just making this a symbol in case we need to do more with these. And in that case, like I might just chuck these two in here as well in the end, just because. Let's move these over to. So I'm just moving these over to the edge of that grid. So on the mobile one, the mobile nav symbol, if you remember from the previous stream, or anyone who was on the previous stream or watched it on YouTube, we actually set it up so that you can swap out the symbol used here. So you can, it's the icons bell, but you can pick icons menu stack and they will swap out. So that's pretty cool, but we're not going to bother doing that on this time through. That can go because that's already in this one here. But we now know how to do that. So this could become, oh, okay. Why am I not able to select that? There. So that, maybe that should be an instance of that bell. But we create another icon called notification icon with badge. Maybe it should be that. Okay, maybe I'm trying to skip over this without doing too much, but I keep saying we should actually do stuff and be diligent. And here we can say, oh, notification icon with badge can go here. And then this can go. Okay, fine. And then we might as well do the avatar thingy that can go in here as well and go over here. I don't know how that works. And then that one can go fine. So at least we're using symbols everywhere. It looks super rough, but I get the gist. Cool. Okay, so mobile nav using symbols, desktop nav using symbols. Looks super rough, but now it's in a symbol, so we know that when we come back to tidy up, it'll get tidied up everywhere and be super consistent. Then we actually looked at the sub navigation on mobile at the last end of the last stream, but we're not actually there yet because we haven't actually designed what it looks like to go in and have a list of events, which is the thing that is shown here. Like this is super rough, but what these are is in our events application, we can have a list of events for people to click into and find out more about. But this could be a little dashboardy view thing. So we can, let's start there. Is this a symbol? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So that can go. Let's make ourselves a nice, and then maybe all events will just be events. And we can, again, we can kind of come back and do type at the same time as well. Let's some fonts stuff in. We can use system fonts, but everyone's kind of using those at the moment. What's the one that we use for Sunday Club? Sophia. An admin font? No. Let's use Proxima because I like it. That's as much justification as I need right now. So we, like I said on the last stream, we haven't done the kind of due diligence of, like, I'm still debating whether to use Tailwind for this kind of project or not, but what they at least give you as a framework is a set of font sizes where you're like, okay, well, it's 1, 2, 3, you know, some of them are like a Fibonacci-esque sequence where they go up in chunks, and some of them are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm never quite sure with Tailwind, but at least they give you fixed sizes to work with as a set of defaults. And if you're starting from scratch and you don't have that, you're kind of just picking things, you know, like for due diligence, we would probably start with like, right, well, let's put all of our headings together in our paragraph text and line spacing and all the good stuff that we should normally do up front. We're just going to skip that because it's boring, and we'll just do this instead. But we should definitely do that. We'll just come back to it another time. Maybe we'll do it next. I don't know. So let's go take a look. We can check this in a border of some sort. Now I am tempted to do what I'm tempted to put a color wash. So I have done plain white full admin areas before. But as you start to put panels over them, you're like, what's in the panel and what's not can start to get a little bit confusing. So let's see if we want to put a wash on the back. Maybe we don't. Maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe it's a bad idea. Just like a super light. Sorry, I'm just totally. Let's try something like that, and then that's way too dark. It's gonna be way too dark. So let's see if we can. That's too blue, I think. I don't know if this is coming through on the stream. I think the stream is messing with it at this end. It just went really blue all of a sudden. Okay, I don't know, something like that. We'll come back and figure that stuff out later as well. So in here, yeah, I think that would be one of my arguments for using Tailwind, is just having a set of defaults for this stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, how rounded should that corner be? And again, it's something you don't really have to think about when you've got a UI template. I know they give you more than one option, but you only have to pick one of something rather than one of infinite. So this, well, let's do a real event. Let's do like what we're looking at on the active one. It was like some sort of group participation event. But the organizer sets the teams, so it could be oh, a scavenger hunt is a good example of the one that we've done in the past. And they always have really long names. So again, I was trying to put the longest, stupidest name in the, not stupid, but in the UI design, because then it works out how it's going to break and look bonkers before you actually get there. So we could say the greatest scavenger hunt of 2021 or something like that. And this I find really helps when you're designing and coding at the same time, where you start to ask questions of like, okay, are we going to cap how long an event name can be? And if we are, how long are we going to cap it? And is the cap just validated for users and admins can override it if they need to, or is it something that we commit to? What does that mean? And all of those fun things. So one of the things that I found last time I kind of approached this, again, we're just doing this really rough, but just to get everything on the screen, was that you generally end up with some like stats. So it would be like you'd have like sold. Ticket sold, I guess. And that could be. Oh, I tell you what, I was like using this earlier, which I really like, and that bump those out, bump that all the way down, chuck that down there somewhere. So you're always going to end up with like some dashboardy type stat things when you do a listing. I don't know what they would be. Again, you were to go back to what we were saying on the last stream. You'd normally have like done some product work before you cracked into just designing, but it's a live stream, so we don't have to worry about that. I don't know, revenue or something like that. It could be £210. I need to have more of those. And what else you want to do is work out how to get to buttons. So here. How do you do that in Sketch so they always... Okay, it's just too long. This one, we want the same color as this. Again, we can use the... Oops. I think we can use the appearance things. Why is it not... There we go. Oh, it's because I'm down... Oh, okay. How do you make that thing go away? Oh, you click back in the color thing. Okay, so all the way over here, that's now neatly lined up. Great. And oh, it's back across here. Oh, good. Okay, so let's do another one of these down. Oh, it doesn't. This doesn't change. Okay. And we might only have 2 for now, I guess. Always add more later. Well, we kind of can make these buttons. So this could be... I don't know. Because you click on the title to actually click through to it, but in general, I was wondering if you could have these kind of stacked. This might look or behave awfully. Maybe we're just going to end up with separate buttons here. I think I can start to see why we don't, why more people don't do this. What I was thinking was, could you have? Oh no, because what happens if you have 3? I was thinking you'd have like a little grid of action buttons, but if you have 3, you'd have to have like one wide one. So that could be like settings. That could be, I don't know, view event, like view site or something like that. But if you need to do something more than that, with 3 buttons, you'd either have to chop this into 3 or put another one up here that was like do other thing. So that's not going to work. Okay, we're going to end up with actual buttons inside the other one. Do other button, do other thing. Can't see it, so I'll type in today. Okay. Okay, it's got really dark outside. I can just see, and I just checked the stream and it's really dark in this office. Can't even see my keyboard. I've got a lamp, but I don't know, I'll flick the light on later. Okay, so let's not do this. Let's have actual buttons that do actual things. We haven't got any button files yet. Maybe that could be a good thing to do would just be like just do a whole set of getting the default styles together. Get rid of 2 other things. These would probably be like your kind of passive navigation buttons. Maybe they don't have a fill or it's very light. This could be the same thing. Yeah, okay, so it looks super rough, but it's fine. We have a list of things that we can get to. And then clicking on one of these. So now we can use the other sketch thing that I wanted to play with, which is like they have this prototyping feature, which again was a thing last time I used it, but I hadn't really got into it. So what's the best way of doing that? Is it not putting these next to each other? Because I want to go from here to another iPhone screen when I'm prototyping it. So if I duplicate that and then here, oops, I just want all of that stuff gone except for the rectangle. That can all go. And then I'm inside an event. Again, not focusing on how this actually looks, just kind of thinking through the behavior of it, I guess. So then now we're in the event itself. And I think what we can do, so if I click on this thing here, prototyping, target, none. So is the target that links there, and then if I do view event, that group, and click prototyping there, and do that. No animation because it's for the web. Okay, so now if I click this one, then click the play thing, I get this fancy little doodad here. Okay. I scroll this out. Yes. Will it zoom in? No. Just takes me forward. Okay, but when I click on that, it takes me there. When I click on that, it takes me there. Okay, so we have an interactive UI in Sketch. Oh, that's cool. When I click anywhere else, it shows me what's clickable. Okay, cool. So what, I had animation options. What happens if I use those? Do this one. Guessing they just slide over like app style. Yeah. Those are for the web, so we don't want those, but that's pretty cool that it does it. Is that none? No upload animation yet. What's this thing? Oh shit, what was that? That seemed important. Create separate hotspot layer. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Well, I've got a new layer here. Hotspot. Oh, so you can just move the clickable thing? Oh, interesting. Oh, that's really good. So then it doesn't matter. You're not associating the link with that. Oh, can I merge that back in? Because I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I'm not sure whether I can merge those back together. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just looking to see if you can target on previous upload. No. We can add prototyping to this. Set that again. Okay, let me just delete that. Cool. Yeah, really helpful. And the other cool thing about that is that when you post these to the cloud Sketch cloud thing and you want to share these designs with someone, the clickable stuff is all there as well. Like they can use it as a prototype. Cool. So now we can go into an event. So let's bring back our toggle from down here. And so we're inside our event, and the thing we want to do is show and hide our sub navigation, and that is here. And so this is the thing that we are taking a look at. And I think we're going to kind of do things the way that Eventbrite did it, which is like just have this hop in and out on mobile. There were a couple of other options, but they were all pretty messy. And this one's so long that just having it be super quick, just appear, felt like the best option. How are we going to do that? Let's have a separate artboard, because if we have, okay, here, come on Max, get a sentence out. If we create a symbol that has a prototyping link, and by that I mean this menu thing here always points to an artboard for event menu, can we have that go across all symbols? So let's give this a try. So in the symbol, we want to group these because we want all of that thing there to be the thing. And then when we prototype, we want the target to be, we're going to go and make the target now. All that. We're going to duplicate this, and this one is going to be called mobile nav. Yeah, let's just call it mobile nav. We won't know what that means. Okay, so then in the symbol, back to the symbol again, edit source, find our group, click on prototyping. We want that to always go to mobile nav. Great. Okay, so then we're back here, and then this one is going to be not called iPhone 8 copy. This is going to be event show. And this one is events index. I'm kind of crossing the streams there between design and the development of it. So we've got our events index, then our events show. And then here when we toggle, take that out, that can go to there. I'm going to put this one first because it will be the one with the constant toggle. So that one. And here we can then build out a symbol that will represent our mobile nav. Probably longer because I think it's going to run off the bottom of the screen. So we're going to have a cool thing here. And maybe it'll have a color, maybe it won't, no idea. And we can have a shadow on it because that top one does. I can get it to the bottom so we can't see it. But it can go below level nav. Cool. And then we can just steal what we've already built over here. Let's have people. And we've got a style that's kind of like that here. Again, not doing textiles or anything just yet. I'm going to come back. So this can be people. And check we can get everything we want in Sketch. People. And what's the next one? Orders, attendees, and groups. Orders. And this one we're going to go back to this. I think probably need a better font for this, but that can come off. This can go back to normal. Can get bigger and way, way, way darker. Oh my god, it's so annoying that thing doesn't go away when you always think it's going to. Okay, orders. Groups. Oh, I have totally forgotten what what they actually were. What is attendees and groups? And then the next one was promote marketing and reports. Right, I don't think a huge amount of thought went into these so far. I think it's the same level of diligence in terms of like what these are called or anything like that. Because we were looking at the Eventbrite menu when we did these, so these just theoretical menu items. Let's keep going though. So we end up with something similar. Update event. Oh, this was our idea of how we're going to... There are so many settings when you do one of these tools. How do you make the event pages even vaguely manageable? Oh, and they've got a bunch of these event details to get. So yeah, so in Eventbrite, they didn't have the word settings on the end on a bunch of these. And you can kind of see why, because you get a bit overwhelmed with it. But there is a clarity that comes with the fact that like if you click groups, you're administering the groups themselves versus the settings for all groups. So that's always a really like hard choice for menu items like the actual wedding, especially because you could just have a thing called settings and call everything a setting, but that one's always a tough balance. All right, let's just keep adding these because I just want to then yeah, okay, so this is a string of things. Then having a section called settings doesn't make any sense at all. You've got you might have like config, or I don't know, like just gonna keep adding these just so I've got the full list in here, because this is a symbol. We only need to do it once, so even if we change these to be stars, the whole point of what I want to do here, did I say privacy settings? No, settings privacy, and then yeah, it's just making this up by the end, I think. Okay, fair enough. Oh, I've duplicated the background there. No. Email. Okay. Cool. So the idea now is, can we get from, this is event show. Let's keep the naming consistent. It would be events show, not case. And then let's do something like events setting. Let's do email settings because it's the last one I remember. Making that up. And then here we might have subheading real quick that's just email settings, just so we know we're on that page. But what I want to look at is how the symbols work with the prototyping. So in here, you want this one to be always a link to, it doesn't really matter that if this is a symbol, if we're only just going to keep linking to this page. So as long as the page always does what we want, and we can link to it from anywhere. So it can get us from there. That one has a symbol that will always get us to there. That one gets us to there. And then this. So from the menu, you can't actually get back to the event itself. So you'd probably want to be able to do that, because that seems important. Unlock both of those really quickly because I don't know. So one of them called it a dashboard. I can't remember which one, something like that. And then that is always going to link to prototyping. I do love the idea that when we first, back in the day, were doing all these with like Photoshop before Sketch and things really took off in those early stages of responsive design, there was none of the prototyping, and it was already pretty complex. Like the fact that designers now have to deal with, like, I'm guessing some of these tools have like rules and stuff, and like kind of building mini apps just in the design tool and then passing it to a bunch of engineers. Like, complexity of all this stuff is just mind-blowing. Before you even start, like, that's just the basics before you even really consider all the business logic and stuff we talk about on Sunday mornings. Too hard. Too hard. We want to, like, you know, fill out. Okay, so just click around. Okay, does this work? Let's go into our event, and we're going to click play. So if I'm here in event show, will it play from event show? Yes. Okay, great. So then I go event menu. Yes, and I can scroll this. Oh, I think I can make that thing fixed. Okay, so we want this. We want fixed position when scrolling. I don't know if we want that. Maybe we want that. Not sure. Maybe we don't want that. Not sure. Let's give this a try again. Let's click this one. Play. Great. Click this. Okay. Cool. So now we can go email settings. Oh, I'd love to. Click. Now we're in the email settings. Now this is a symbol. But so because the symbol links back to the menu, it should always get us back there. So we've basically now built that functionality into our sketch file, which is super helpful. I think that some of this stuff existed last time I used Sketch, but this is better than I remember. And if you remember, like for anyone who watched the last design stream, there's an app called Mirror. I'll load it up again because it's super helpful. Mirror. No, I won't. Oh, there it is. Yep. And it should come up on here. My phone. So what you can then do is this now works on the phone. And the thing I was using it for last week was to look and see how. I don't know if this will actually show. There we go. Was to look and see how things appeared. But actually, it's now. I can't do this without. Now interactive. So as I tap on the buttons, you'll see it moving. So if I tap up here, the menu appears. Amazing. So you have like a little mini app and everything's scrollable and tappable from within your app. It's like a really good prototyping system with a UI design tool built in, or vice versa. I don't work for Sketch or like get any commission from them, but if they're watching this and would like to give me free stuff, then feel free. Okay, it's pretty cool to see that so quickly on a real device. Really gives you a sense of navigating around it. Really, I mean, that's just so basic. I mean, we're at 48 minutes, but like we only really did any work in the last like 25 minutes or something. And to have a little kind of play aroundable application. So do we want to, let's take a look at the question we want answered from the Sunday streams is, what is the minimum shippable version of this tool? Like, we want we looked at active.com and we looked at just how complex these things can be. By the time we've got to like all the group logic, all the pricing logic, all the kind of like all the cool domain modeling problems that I was interested in, they're all super interesting. We looked at a bunch of them. We built some of them out. But one of the goals from the event application, rather than the first one we built, which is about Twitch and YouTube channels, was like I really wanted to get something shipped, like an actual thing that people could use. And there's just too much in a normal events application to even like attempt to do the whole thing. Oh, so what's the minimum shippable version? And I think the best place to start with that is not to polish any of this UI stuff, although that would be probably the most fun because we could spend hours going over like font choices. I think the easiest way to work that, I don't know about easiest, but my natural instinct to work that out is to do the create event workflow. Like, what is the fewest questions we could ask to get a viable event up without shooting ourselves in the foot that we're never going to be able to update? Like, you know, oh, we've shipped it like this, and then we know that group pricing or discount pricing or all the other cool features we've looked at are going to be a thing, but we still want something shippable. So let's make a button. That's where all good ideas start, with a button. And we're going to keep ignoring symbols and styles that would actually help us out in the future, because we're going to come back and do those diligently when we do cool things like font choices and spend hours arguing over those things. Here instead we could, oh, that's a border, I didn't mean to do that. Let's have Let's have a button that says new event. And an events application, that is basically what everyone wants you to press all of the time. So whenever you sign up for any of these accounts, which I have done a lot recently for the Sunday streams, all I now get is emails from event applications being like, hey, come back. We miss you. Because that's how they make money. I don't know if you can hear that, but the local... We have foxes in the garden next door to us. And they... I don't know if they fight with each other or the opposite of fighting. Maybe they are aggressively loving each other. They are very noisy about it. I think they might also fight with local pets and things like that. So if you can hear animal noises outside my window, that's what's happening. Let's make the flow for making a new event. Let's grab this one because it's the most fair. I wonder if you can hide these little arrows because they're pretty helpful. View canvas components, show slices, show side brush inspector, hide interface, prototype, animate, preview prototype. Oh, I was asking earlier which one you start from, so you can actually use artboard as start point. You can set the default start point. That's pretty cool. So can you just toggle those arrows on and off, or are they always on? Oh, they go off. Oh, okay. They only appear when you've selected an artboard. Okay, right. That makes more sense. So new event, right. Let's go back to our Eventbrite one because that was one of the fewest. So this, no, not event create. Oh, I can leave that one up, I suppose. So on the Sunday stream last week, we had the now is your time. Create an event. This is the first one, and then here, logged in. Dashboard, create new event. Right, so I remember this one because event create was basically so different interesting approaches to the same problem. So eventcreate.com was like, hey, let's build a website for your event, and then like we'll ask you questions about the specifics of the event, but the driver will be like the end result, the site. We'll focus on that as the main thing that you deal with, and it comes with like a full block editor. When we looked at active.com at the weekend, be one of these, I would guess. My browser history. Of course, this preview of my event. Oops. Go to com. Hopefully I'm still signed in from Sunday. Cool. Please select your territory. I am in the UK. No events. Just events. What? I'm not going to tell you how many details I typed in at the weekend, but it's... Oh, my logged in as like a... Oh, I see. My logged in as a participant. Right, hang on. I want to go to event organizers, customer login. All right, I'm now 3 tabs in. Okay, let's go. Right, here we go. Great, amazing. this is my organization and I have a test event here. So when you go into setup, these steps on the right hand side here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is the event creation flow for a new event, all 13 of those steps. That is like your new experience. So if you go to dashboard, I'm guessing there's like a new event thing somewhere. Oh, I said that was the one they want you to click all the time, and it's actually not that obvious here. Create an event. So if you look, I think that just doing one of these will get you there, but there is no, when you first sign up for your account, you get given this page and this right-hand side with all of these steps. And like, they really want you, like, including your bank account details. With Eventbrite, you can get away with this one page and your event has a URL and you're done, and they don't want any bank details, they don't want anything. And they just want you to get set up. For free events, I think you can publish it, but Active go the other way, and they're like, you have to tell us everything about your event and about yourself and your inside leg measurement before you can get started. And the thing we were talking about on Sunday was that they're both valid approaches. One is minimum friction, get you up and running as quickly as possible, but maybe we can't get you over that second hump of activation. Like maybe we do need your bank details in order to send you money from the ticket sales or whatever the thing is, but you've got your URL, but we can't get you over the next hurdle. At least with putting all of the friction up front, you're like, hey, answer all of these questions, because once you're done, we've got you, like, we've got your bank details, so we don't have to ask you again, or Stripe details or whatever it is to get you money. We've got all of this details. We can really reduce the friction here on in, and basically just working out as a UI designer, as an organization, as a site, how you want to trade that off. And again, we're asking what's the minimum viable version we can run. So let's say we want to have, so let's bring that back and just put like create event. And again, we're not going to worry about what this looks like too much. We can just kind of get the gist. And we'll come back and tidy it all up and worry about fonts and stuff when we're doing cool stuff like that. But we do want to give these labels. So, and again, you have so much power to shape the experience in these design stages. So this is event name, but it could be, what have they put on these ones? This is event title. Let's choose the design template. So let's start with iconic. Event name, i.e. So what I mean by shaping that user experience, they put event name, i.e. Sarah's birthday or conference X. Well, that gives you two examples of this event, what this event applications expects you to have. What I infer from this is like, hey, you could do a birthday party or you could do a conference with this service, and we're happy to let you do either. Like, just from the placeholder text, we've given you that context as a user. That's pretty cool. What is the, I'm going to close these down. This one just has event name, which is fair enough. But you could put something, so I put event name, event title, but you could be more casual. You could be like, what's the name of your event? The title of your event. In general, people don't really need that in an app like this, I don't think. I think name is cooler. And again, you might have your asterisk. Actually, yeah, let's put an asterisk to indicate what we are going to color it red later. Or some other non-urgent color. So we're going to have event name. Let's group these so we can... No, I didn't make a symbol just yet because we're just about to screw all this up. So let's do event name. What does Eventbrite need? You're going to need your dates. and locations. Like that's, so they put type and category really, really high up. So organizer is obviously an Eventbrite, a thing that Eventbrite cares about. This goes back to what we were talking about on a Sunday stream about whether you work for multiple organizations and how you structure that in the UI. So I might have multiple, like I've got Sunday Club as a group, but maybe I run Sunday Club and Monday Club. And maybe I need to indicate which one's which without having to jump between accounts. But I think we can switch all that because we're talking about minimum viable stuff. So we don't need that. For now, we don't need that or that. Tags, we don't need. This is all to help people find the event using Eventbrite as a browsing service. Like, hey, I want to know things near me that are tagged with coding or design or something like that. But we're talking about minimum viable stuff, so all of that can go. Location we need. Where is it? They have got a powered by Google doodad for the address thing. Now my experience of that is that those little doodads cost money. I think Google look up, because we bumped into this with the Sunday streams when we were doing was it YouTube API calls, and you get like thousands for free or whatever. But having worked in applications where you start to get near those thresholds, you're like, oh, the billing really kicks in. Like there's a reason Google is a bajillion-dollar company. So if you don't need to do that, like for example, I think a freer option might be like letting people type in the address and then letting them put like showing them a map and then letting them move the dot, I think might be free. What is geocoding? Geocoding is the process of connecting address, geographic coordinates, human readable address, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I want like, no, I want the thing where it's going to show like address suggestions. Google address autocomplete. Places autocomplete. Here we go. Cool. So it's kind of built in. Yep, that's the one that they're all using. Quotas. Usage and billing for Places API. It's so hard to find out how much anything costs. Okay. SKU, basically. Especially the basic area. Places request. Okay, so you don't need any of those ones, just these ones. Oh, these are all free. Places request cost. Oh wait, what's the, okay, no, they're free on top of a places request. The pricing on this, like, it's so hard to work out. So where's places? 11,000 sessions, which is like, it's a bunch, but it's not that many. With just basic data is, what's up at the top here? Wait, what? So this is 0 to 100,000 volume. Autocomplete requests per session. Plus base auto plus places data request. Plus places data. So is it $17 for 100,000 or $17 for 11,000? Either way, that's going to cost money. Okay, so let's back away from that for now. As I'm guessing Eventbrite can probably afford whatever they're being charged. So we could just ask for an address. like an old school. So these guys doing the same thing. We could put in. Oh, location. Oh, sorry. On here. I'm making the address up, although there is a Tavern Street. So I wonder if they then pump this into a map to try and put the... Yeah, you could basically collect it like this, just as a single field, pass this to Google Maps and have it put its pin wherever it, like have Google make the best guess. And then be like, hey, is the pin in the right place? If not, you can move it. And then you can store the lat long of where they've moved it to, and then just use that as the lat long from then on. Rather than having to, like, you could just disassociate the pin and the address and just treat the address like a string. Or you could ask for address line 1, address line 2. What did active do? Location. Select save location. Or we can do add location. Yeah, or you can do line location name, country, address, blah, blah, blah. And ask for it like that. So again, this goes to like how much friction do you want to give to your event organizers up front? What are you willing to lumber them with? Active are willing to put all of the friction up front at all times. Like all of these are mandatory. You got to know this stuff. And the other ones are like, just give us a string, it'll be fine. Like that one's just let me put in a totally fake address, and I'm assuming it's going to let me be fine about it. So let me go to an event I've already created. See if I can change event details. Location TBD, location address. Let's see if we can do. Maybe it won't save now. Oops. I can't see my keyboard. I don't need to put a postcode. Update details. Yep, doesn't care. So if I go to this preview, does it put a map on here? I think it would show me this little thing here. It says location TBD, but I did put an address in. Doesn't do anything with it. But I'm guessing for the website, I then have to pull like a little map component, edit website. But if I want to add a map, I can add that in. And now it has done, then I can save this, save, exit website editor. Hopefully refresh this. Right, so it has done just that. It has put the pin, it's handed this to Google and allowed it to put the pin where it wants. So you're just handing over that experience to Google. So they seem to just be accepting a string and letting Google do the rest of the work, which is fair enough. So we can do maybe like a half. We can do this. So you could put these under. Oops. Yep, so you get what's the name of the event? Where is it? Location name, location address. Okay, fine. What was Eventbrite's next stuff? Is it a physical event, an online event? Be announced. I guess to be announced, you just opt me out of giving you all of any of that information. But to be announced is clever because presumably that puts to be announced on the event page, I would guess. So maybe it forces you to come back and fill this in rather than never bothering. So you could have this UI here. What is that rectangle? Can that go away? I think so. Lock the one. Yeah, just 'cause I don't need that right now. So you could have event type. And this is all fairly manageable so far. And let's put in one of our bland little button things. Oh, what did Eventbrite have? Physical venue. But then all that venues, I guess you could have like physical, virtual, to be conformed, to be confirmed. All right, again, super rough. Maybe venue like real world or something. But as you toggle through these options, so if you hit venue, location appears, and you have to fill in all this crap. And if you put virtual, you have to give it some sort of like zoom path or something like that. So maybe this one is like selected. Or something. Again, not too worried about how it looks right now. So we're just trying to do minimum viable shippable thing. Cool. So venue location to be confirmed. Okay. What else do these other sites ask for? They look for date and time. So we're going to skip the concept of recurring altogether because that's super complicated, but we want to bear it in mind. Start date and end date. End. Start time and end time. And then whether to show those options. Yep. Okay, fine. So the reason that you, having done some of this stuff before, you need a start date and you want a time from them, and then you have to offer the option of hiding it rather than not asking for it in the first place, is that calendar events usually, event applications normally need like a calendar event thing to send out, and they require a time because by default, they're going to default to like midnight or something like that. So I think even if you don't pick display start time, potentially it might still get used on like the iCal download that you get from some event platforms and stuff like that. So bear that in mind. We can ditch like that single and recurring option and bear that in mind for later. But we just want start and end time. Just put date and time. And then copy this down. Start date. And we can probably do like these are pretty, that's a big box for time. I'm just collapse it down. Again, maybe I'm being naive and way more complicated than that when you get there, but don't worry too much about that right now. Duplicate that. And date and time. And then we can have our options to show and hide those later. That's not too tricky. Okay, so that's all they need to get them started. maybe like, can we just ship that? Like, and let people buy tickets to that and make them just put in their email address and that's all you need to start with? Like, I'm really thinking like minimal. Minimal. So this gets you a URL for an event. The event just has one button where you can click it. You have to give it an email address. And we don't even deal with like quantities or anything like that. Could we just go with the barest of bones and just deal with like each registrant is one registrant and then handle like build out what's needed to do all of that under the hood, but just like could not be more minimal. I just need to register people one by one for this thing, and then we start layering all the other stuff on top. Just trying to think about getting this shipped, only doing it on like Sunday mornings. That might not be the worst idea. And then, so let's go into what happens after we've done that. So on Eventbrite, we'll just use that one as an example for now. Let's go to manage my events. Leave that page and bump the font size up on here so we can see a bit better. A simple ticket event. And again, these are our stats we looked at earlier, like number sold, gross, status, stuff like that. That's when we were looking at this bit of UI down here. Like it's the same thing. Like how many did we sell? How much money have we made? What's the name of the event? Stuff like that. So they've gone the other way around. They've gone color, like a light gray background for the menu, but then white for the background of the main page. And they've gone for like a light gray box panel. And everything else just leaks out to, there's no borders around the tables or panels or anything elsewhere. Because the other one we were looking at was Stripe's new one. They've gone with a redesign. Can't remember what theirs is. Anyway, let's go into, so that's basic info, then details. So this is WYSIWYG. That would get us to play with action text and active storage, which we did on the others on the stream previously. This is a block editor, which could be super interesting to build, but not now. But we could put 1, 2, 3 fields on an event just to get the page with some content on it. Okay. We could skip ticket types altogether and just like build it out under the hood, but just build one called tickets. And then later on, when you roll that out in the admin area, everyone just finds they already have a ticket type, like it's called general admission or something like that. And they're like, oh, that's weird. And it turned out to be the ticket they were selling the whole time. And that is just like, maybe you allow quantity on that so they could buy more than one. And we go back to that idea of like meetup.com being just for registering your interest. Okay. This could be interesting. Like, that's really minimum. That is very minimal. And I like it a lot because I think it's shippable. And we could come back like, I don't know, in a week's time or something and actually make this look nice. But all of this could go because you wouldn't have any attendees yet. You wouldn't have done all the group stuff because groups is where we're trying to get to. That's where the complexity really kicks in. But if we could ship something and iterate our way there rather than trying to back ourselves into that complexity, because we've got everything to get to on the way there, which is like users logging in and like just all of the crap that comes with building the first part, so sending emails, all that fun stuff. Basically everything that's in the channel at the moment that we did for the YouTube application, you've got to like get it up on Heroku, which took like 2 streams last time just to get something working because Webpack, I think. Yeah, I'm kind of into that. So we could just build this thing. You'd then have a button at the bottom that was like, oops, what's happened there? Something like this. This could be events new, not event show. So this is taking that approach of least friction rather than the active one with more friction. But again, you could just iterate over that over time and gradually introduce more, which is fair enough. And then, so the other thing we then spoke about was taking all of that and having like event details. Zoom in, so then you could have your WYSIWYG here and posting all the cool stuff about your event. Because this is all like none of that affects the logic of buying a ticket or anything like that. It's all kind of just basic crud. Organizer puts it in, you show it on the page. Like, do you build a block editor? Do you let them put nice fancy pictures in? Whatever. Like, that actually doesn't then impact on how to group tickets go on sale. Like, there's more logic in the time and the date stuff because you can have like multiple and recurring and like multiple sessions and stuff like that. So, so this could be events. Well, that would actually then be event. It could be event setup. Details. And that could be it. Like you could just have a giant thing, just saying you did it, well done. Or something, I don't know. And this is all really basic, but you kind of hopefully like you wouldn't have any of this here yet because you wouldn't have made the event at this point. This can actually be called event details here. This could ask for a picture and all that other cool stuff that we just looked at. That wouldn't be there either. And then here, your event is now live. You put some pictures, put some of the details on there. It'll all look lovely. Blah, blah, blah. View event or administer event would then show up as well. Super basic. Minimum viable. Don't know about viable. Minimum event application. Shippable. Then people can take part. You build no logic. At all, and they can view a list of attendees, and those attendees have to give an email address and a name or something. Like you just mandate the 2 or 3 that you do, like the 2 or 3 fields that you need, and then you start to build everything else back from there. Okay. I think that's fine. I think let's do prototyping. Let's send that to there. this one here. And this one to here. And then this events index is going to be what we had prototype use up or the start point. We do this. Okay. Get events index. Just move everything else out of the background real quick. Move that over here. So we have the greatest scavenger hunt of 2021. This would show all of our event details. It's kind of like the dashboard for our event. Great. We can't get back to all events. How do we... okay. How did we get here then? So if we go into here. Dashboard is taking us to the wrong place. Okay, let me just fix that because it's going to confuse the crap out of me. So dashboard here is taking us there when it should take us to event show. Oh, okay, that's weird. It just made my main page jump, but that's fine. And what we actually want is all of this to go down, and we need some sort of mechanism to go. Again, not worrying about how it looks. That doesn't matter right now. I'm going to make it look lovely and nice and polished at some point. And this can then oh, okay, so because I cloned it, it goes to the same place. Okay, so I actually want that to go to events index. Now let's get this off screens and do our prototype again. Okay, so we're in all events. We can then go and view our event. We can look at the menu for this event. We can then either go to the email settings, back to the menu, back to this individual event. We can go to all events. From here, we can then go to new event, create a new event from here. Basic information, save and continue, get a photo, get a description. This will be a WYSIWYG editor, whatever, just action text. Your event is now live. Maybe we need another step, but maybe not. Super basic, nothing else. And there's nothing that you can do around controlling groups or anything like that. View event would then take you to the non-event, the non-admin side where you'd go to the preview of the page or something like that. Amazing. Okay, I'm kind of tempted to wrap that up there because I've achieved, I think we've done 90 minutes, kind of done kind of where I wanted to get to prep for Sunday's coding thing. Like maybe we split the streams out and just start building this on Sunday. Like get out of the admin prototype stuff and get into an actual real application. That's pretty exciting. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you to anyone who watched live. So a couple of people in the little stats thingy. So hopefully people find this useful. If you're watching later on YouTube, make sure you go back and check out the rest of the stream, or you can subscribe on YouTube or on Twitch. It's Sunday Club. Sunday Club is with an AE on Sunday, not AY. And yeah, have a lovely weekend. I will be back on the stream on 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. And I think we're going to start building the application, which is going to be really exciting. And other than that, have a wonderful weekend until then. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.